Good morning, everyone. Yo, let me know if you can hear me. Thumbs up, please, if you can hear me. Oh, you can just say hi. Okay, thank you. So, you guys are welcome to our career masterclass. And my name is Dami. So, it's good to have everybody on the call this morning. So, we're going to have a little icebreaker just to get to know one another better and also to introduce you to the team. So I'll start first, and anyone that wants to go next and introduce themselves, then they can do so. So my name is Dami, and I'm a member of a team, part of NabelTech team. I'm a Scrum Master, and I'm based in London. So we would like to go next. Anybody would like to go next? I can see Omotayo. Omotayo, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Omotayo Aladefawale. Right now I'm based in Scotland.
Ah, nice. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Who would like to go next? Thanks, Omotayo. Guys, I promise I don't bite. Who would like to go next? Or should I select someone? All right, go on. Mercy.
Hello, good morning.
Good.
My name is Mercy. I'm in Manchester.
Oh, nice to meet you. That's
Me
my
too.
town. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining. Who would like
Yeah.
to go next, please? I'll still take a couple of more. All right, go on.
Hello, good morning. My name is
Hi,
Penio,
hi
and I'm,
Penel.
and I'm based in London.
You still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go on.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Penio, and I'm based in London.
Oh, nice to meet you, Penel.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so I've got Stella in the chat. Hi Stella. Lily, would you like to introduce yourself? Stella is from London. Nice to meet you, Stella. Oh yeah, I remember Stella. Temiloluwa.
Yeah, good morning. Hi everyone. My name is Lulu. I'm also a part of the team and I am a Scrum Master and Agile Project Manager. Nice to meet everyone. Lovely to have you on the call. Thank you very much, Tammy.
Thanks, Lulu. Hi Miriam. Do you want to go next? If you're speaking, you're muted. All right.
Yeah, so my name is Miriam.
Hi Miriam.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be here. Um, so I'm a business analyst.
Nice.
Yes, so I'm actually here to know more, basically.
That's good. Good to have you. Hi Benedicta. Would you like to go next?
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I'm Benedicta from Ghana. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice. Thank you. So we've got two people raising their hands. Efe, go on, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Efe. I'm based in Brightlingsea, Essex.
Nice to meet you,
I
Efe.
just got certified as a Scrum Master, and I would like to further sharpen my skills and you know get and also further sharpen my skills and learn more about this session and how I can get more opportunities in life in the
Nice.
area of software development and agile.
Okay. Thank you, Efe. Thank you. So I'm just going to read the last two in the chat. I think that's the last one we're going to be able to take. I've got Ify. Hi, Ify. Nice to meet you. Ify is based in Portsmouth. And I've got the Lapo, who is based in Nigeria. Nice, nice, nice. I think I'll take one more. So, who would like to go next? Just one more. Oh, I've got two people. Okay. For me, go on, please.
Oh, hi, good morning.
Morning.
Mine is actually a question.
Yeah.
Is this class for people who have already done the Scrum Master? Because I'm due to start on the 7th of September. So I did get this invite. I wasn't sure.
Oh, for me, this is our free taster class. Just has to do with talking about the courses we offer and what the steps would be that you need to take to transition into tech. So I think we've spoken already for me. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm meant to be here.
you can be, yeah, if you want to hear more.
Okay,
Can be.
that's fine. Okay, thank you.
No worries. All right. So Shay, I'll take you last. No, not Shay. All right, that's it. Okay. Thanks everyone. And we're gonna be moving on to the introduction now. All right. So our plan for today is we're gonna tell you about who we are, our story, and we're gonna go into talking about what what technical and non-technical roles are, the benefits of transitioning into tech, essential skills that are needed to transition into tech, and also we have Coach talking more about what. Sorry, 1 second. I just need to mute. All right, thank you. So, what Scrum and project management, business analyst, and product management are in more detail, and we have some of our students who would be joining us this morning who are they finished the boot camp, just telling you what their experience was and their success stories as well. And at the end, you would have chance to ask as many questions as possible. All right, thank you. So a little bit about us. All right, so who is NabelTech? So NabelTech is a tech consulting company and a training company that was established on the vision to bridge the gap between technical and non-technical roles in the tech industry. So we were founded by Coach D, who is an agile coach and RTE release training engineer, and NabelTech is committed to empowering individuals and facilitating their successful transition into non-technical roles within the tech industry with a deep understanding of the dynamics and the demands of what to expect in the tech industry. So as NabelTech, we offer comprehensive training programs that is designed to equip individuals with necessary skills and knowledge to thrive in non-technical roles. So we know a lot of people are looking to transition, like some of you have joined this morning. So that's why we're here. And as a company, we recognize that the tech industry encompasses a wide range of opportunities that is beyond coding and programming. And our aim is to help you unlock the possibilities of becoming as the professionals within the tech industry. I think I'm going to Coach, please.
Thank you, Dami. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this morning. We are excited to have you here, and we hope this would be a transformative session for you. We hope you would get to learn more. We hope by this call you would have clarity on what your next steps are. And over the course of the call, I will be making some reference to myself, to some of our students, and to the journey that you're about to embark on. So good morning once again. Let me introduce myself before everybody start wondering who is this lady. My name is Lola Raji, and I am the founder of NabelTech. I started NabelTech 2 years ago, and the dream for starting NabelTech was to bridge the gap between those that are in tech and those that want to work in tech. So a little bit of background about myself. I used to work in healthcare as an healthcare assistant with NHS professionals. And I got to know about tech from a friend, and I also transitioned into tech. However, my transition was not like everybody else. It wasn't smooth sailing. It wasn't as chilled. And that was because I did not have the structure. I did not have the support. And it took me a longer time to get my first role in tech. And that is the main reason why we started NabelTech. We started NabelTech to bridge that gap for people, to make it easier for them, faster for them, and I will say less cumbersome, basically. So my name is Alaraji. I'm a release train engineer. I'm an agile coach. I started as a Scrum Master, also a project manager and a certified IT trainer. I'm based in Manchester here in United Kingdom. And over the years that I've been working in tech, I've been able to consult for quite a range of companies and also across various sectors. So I've consulted for British Telecoms, for Sky, for Legal and General, for Safeguard Global, Greater Manchester Combined Authority, Skill City, Accenture, the UK Home Office, Belron, to name a few. And I'm also certified in various aspects. So I'm certified RCE, ICP, ACC, that's an agile coaching certification, agile team facilitation. I'm certified Scrum Master, product owner, project manager, cloud practitioner as well. Did a bit with digital marketing. I'm a Kanban expert, and I'm also a product owner. And all this experience and my certification and my knowledge, I've kind of brought it together to basically support people to take that leap of faith, to take that step to transition into tech. And we've been on the news quite a number of times, and this is just about me talking about my passion, how to help people transition into tech, how to basically make a difference. Because for me, I've been on contracts, I've been at organizations where I'm the only Black or I'm the only female. And even right now, where I'm consulting, I'm the only Black in a team of almost 150 people. So it is interesting, it is shocking that to this date in the UK, we still have a lot of Blacks, or we Blacks are still very much underrepresented in tech. And I think my mission is to preach that gospel, to let everybody understand you can do it. It's not rocket science. I know some people will tell you, oh, it's hard, it's not as easy. That's fine. But I think for me and for all our students that have been successful, we've seen that we have a structure that is tried, tested, and trusted, and that it works. And this is just basically what we're going to be walking you through today. And just for me to confirm, can everybody see my screen okay? Can you see me okay? And can you hear me okay? So I hope I'm not just talking to myself. Can everybody see my screen? All right, thank you. I think I've got some thumbs up. All right, so yeah, you've already met some of my team members, and we are all excited to be here today. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, everybody. And we're going to start with the basics, right? How do you even make this transition? How will you do it? How have the people that have been able to transition into tech, how did they do it? So I've broken this out into a couple of steps based on my experience and the experience of all our successful students. And the first part is, which I feel you've already done for you to be here today, is to look within an industry that you feel you want to transition into. So you need to identify, okay, is it tech that I want to transition into? Is it healthcare? Is it fashion? Is it marketing and all those things? You've already taken the first step by looking at the industry that you're interested in transitioning into. The second step, however, which is the most important, is for you to have a mindset shift. Guys, if at the moment you're doubting, can I do it? Is it possible? Can I not do it? I'm standing in front of you as a testimony and a testament to the fact that, yes, you can do it. It is possible. You need to believe in yourself. A lot of people say, Coach D is hard. You need to know mathematics. You need to have computer science degree. All those are just myths. It is not true. You can do it. I had no technical background. So for my university, I did my uni in Nigeria. I did educational management and economics, and I had no knowledge of tech at all. And I've transitioned into tech, and I've been able to consult across various firms. So you need to believe that you can do it. You need to drop the imposter syndrome. Absolutely, it's normal for you to have it. It's normal for you to think, is it possible? Sometimes to doubt yourself, but you need to believe that you can do it. That is like the key. Also, the next step for you to do is then to identify your skill set. What are the soft skills that you have that you can transfer or you can bring into this role? At this moment, you might not have the technical skills, although some people have done some trainings in some places, so you might have gotten the hard skills. However, the soft skills would be the skill set that you already have in you that would make you thrive in tech. So skills like communication skills, interpersonal skills, management, goal orientation, all those things, just identify them, emotional intelligence, and say, okay, I've got this set of skills. I know I can use this to move myself forward. The next bit is where we come in. This is where we get to support you. After identifying your skill set, making that decision that I can do this, knowing that, okay, tech is the next step for me to take, you then need to attend the boot camp to speed up your transition. So for me, when I started in tech, it was a little bit tricky for me. I went in to train on project management and business analysis. However, I got to know about Scrum and I fell in love. I started doing my research myself and I self-studied Scrum. And for the moment I got to know about Scrum to the moment I got my job, it took me 2 years and it took me 32 interviews. And that was because there was very little or no support. In fact, I had to start reaching out to people on LinkedIn to say, please, I know you're a Scrum Master, how do you do it? Or because I actually never saw anyone that was a Scrum Master very close to me. I never had anyone that was doing it. One of my friends was like, are you sure this Scrum Master thing is not just a fancy role? Do you think it even exists? But I just held on to it. However, assuming I had attended the bootcamp, I've seen my students getting job at their first interview to earn £500 after 3 months of being on the bootcamp. I've seen people getting job of 60,000 after 3 months on the bootcamp. So the bootcamp speeds up your transition process. Instead of you spending 2 years, 4 years in the university or learning or self-study, then the bootcamp kind of speeds up that process for you. You also get to do internship, volunteer, and get the relevant work experience. So at NabelTech, in as much as you're doing the bootcamp, you're also getting your work experience with us. So your work experience comes into play, your internship comes into play, you get access to the tools, you practically do what you do at work every day. So that is why it is very, very key. The next step is for you to get certified. I know there was a day someone was looking at my CV and I was like, it was a recruiter. I was like, are you sure you did all these certifications? I'm like, do you need the certificate to see it? They're like, no, I'm just surprised. One of the key things I would always tell my students is when it comes to tech and working in tech, your certifications or doing the right certifications take you to the door, right? What you know gets you the job. So do the right certifications for project managers, for business analysts, for product owners, for project managers. We would advise you on the right certifications to take. So you need to take the right certification. You can't just tell me, oh, Coach D, that's it. I've done the bootcamp. I want to go and apply. One of the criteria for our students in the bootcamp is at least you must have one certification on your CV. And there are different ways you can get certification. You can do LinkedIn Premium, where you get free certifications. You can pay for your certification as well. The next part is for you to find a mentor, find someone that's already done what you want to do, someone that's transitioned, someone that is working in that role, and let them mentor you. While you're on the bootcamp with us at NabelTech, you have mentors that support you every day. And I'm also on hand to support throughout the course of the bootcamp and even afterwards till you get your job. Lastly, bear in mind that you need to network. You need to make friends. You need to reach out to people in the industry. Reach out to people on LinkedIn. Reach out to people on Facebook groups. Connect with people of like minds. They can help you. I've seen quite a number of people getting jobs through networking. Just someone saying, oh, I know someone that knows someone and they need a project manager. Like, oh, I have a friend that is a project manager I can recommend. So please make sure that you also network. So all these are the basic steps that you then need to take to transition into tech. One of the key things I want to also talk to you about is in tech, there are 2 main types of roles. So you have the technical roles and the non-technical roles. And for every organization you see, thanks to digital transformation, tech to the 21st century, most organizations would have a tech team and a non-tech team. However, for that company to try, say BT, for example, or Sky, you would always have a mix of people that are technical and people that are non-technical, and they all work together every day. Okay, so technical roles are roles that you need to have a technical background. You need to have computer science background. You need to know how to code. You need to know how to test. You need to know how to use some amazing functionalities, write some coding languages and the rest. However, the non-technical roles are the roles that for you to disburse your role or for you to thrive or to successfully deliver in that role, you do not need a technical background. Okay, so example of the technical roles would be software developers, the data architects, data scientists, information security analysts, computer system analysts, data engineers, to name a few. And for the non-technical roles in tech, you have the project manager role, the product manager role, scrum master role, BA, UI, UX, and digital marketing. So for me, when I wanted to make my decision then, I was like, okay, at this stage of my life, can I learn to code? So very high level, it was yes. But do I want to do it? Do I have the time? Will I be able to commit to it? And which role will I be able to transition into that will then be able to maintain over time? And then I went for the Scrum Master role. And this is the thing I would tell other people. Some people like, oh, Coach D, I want to do data and I want to do Scrum. And I would ask them, for data, so at high levels, you might need to understand Python. Are you ready to do or basically go and do research on Python for the next 1 week? Come back to me and tell me what you think. Do you understand? So make sure that you do your research. However, for those that want to transition into tech and you don't want to go through the hassle of coding, then this is why we have the non-technical roles for you. So what are then the skill sets that you need to work at the office on a day-to-day basis, or the skill set that you need to transition into tech? You have communication skills as a Scrum Masters, project manager, business analyst, software developer, all these people. You would never work in isolation in tech. Every day, in short, I was looking at my calendar. Half of the time that I'm at work, I'm always in meetings. So you need to be able to communicate effectively. Also, you need to be able to listen. Active listening skill is key. Teamwork is also important. You'll be working with people. Problem solving is key because for most of the things you're going to be working on, it's not always easy, so to say. So you need to identify a particular way that you solve your problem, identify the problem, tackle it, resolve it, have your lessons learned from it as well. Servant leadership is also key. You need to be selfless at work. You need to learn to serve and lead at the same time. And when we talk about servant leadership for us in tech, it's not about telling people what to do, to say, go and do this or you must do this. It's about guiding them to make the right decisions, about supporting them to make the right decisions. Business analysts, product managers, project managers, Scrum Masters, you need to have attention to details, right? Don't let those tiny little information slip out of your hands. You also need to be creative. Look at creative ways to solve problems, creative way to engage your team members, to engage your stakeholders as well. Analytical skills is also key. Effective planning is important. And most importantly, for most people on this call, the roles you're going to be going for will be senior roles. So as project managers, as Scrum Masters, product managers, business analysts, you would most likely also have people under you that they report into you. And you'll be working with a group of people. So you need to have people management skills. So emotional intelligence, how to support people, how to make sure that you're motivating people towards the right direction to achieve the goals that they've set for themselves, and also the goal that the organization has set for themselves. So what are the other roles that we have in tech that you can explore? And the basic thing to bear in mind is some of these roles, even where you are now, after maybe taking the boot camp, you should be able to switch into these roles. So for me, I started as a Scrum Master. Over the years, I've been an Agile coach, I've been a delivery manager, I've been a release train engineer, now I'm a program manager. So all started from being a Scrum Master. So some people will be like, oh, Coach D, can I still branch out or do other things? Yes, you can. So other roles that you can explore is the product owner role, the Agile coach role, delivery manager, project lead, software tester, and cloud engineer as well. And then I would stop on this slide to take any questions. So what are the benefits of working in tech? My favorite that I would always tell people about is excellent pay. They pay well. So most tech roles would always give you, I would say, better money compared to other roles. So for me, my first role in tech ever, after my interviews and all, my first role, and please bear in mind, previously to then, I was working as an healthcare assistant and I was £9 or £10 an hour. And my first role in tech was £65,000 base. And then plus other benefits and additions was £7,000. I remember the day the recruiter called me and said, oh, Lola, congratulations. I just want to ask, is £65,000 okay for you? I'm like, is what okay? Hold on. I was asked, are you sure? You said 60, yes, 65,000. So I was really, really surprised. And I think that has been the moment where my pay, my career has kind of shifted. So there's definitely excellent pay. This part for me, I really, really love. There's work-life balance. 90% of the time I work remotely. And I've been on contracts that have been fully remote as well. So there's ability for you to work, and that leads to flexibility, right? There's work-life balance. You can take care of your family, you can take care of your kids, you can work fully remote, you can work at the office a couple of times. I think for the past how many days now, I've only been at the office once. So there's that flexibility. And also while you're working, you can take your kids to school, you can do your school runs, you can cook while you're working. There's really no hassle to it. Also, there's great opportunities, and then you can your career path can open up just by starting in tech. And lastly, there's high demand for tech roles. I will take a pause here. Tolu, please get ready to launch us into business analysis. And then the salaries for Scrum Masters or for people that work in tech. So I just give you like a screenshot of what the salary looks like at the moment. So for Scrum Masters, you start from 45,000 and you go up to 80,000 pounds a year. For business analyst, it's between 35,000, but recently the business analyst role is kind of picking up. So in the UK, you're going to be seeing like between 35 to 60 to 70,000 pounds for BAs. Project managers is between 45,000 pounds to 75,000 pounds a year. Software testers, that's the manual software tester, is between 25,000 pounds to 45,000 pounds. Product manager is between 45 to 75,000 pounds. And product designer or UI UX designer is between 35,000 pounds to 6,000 pounds. So this is like the benchmark of the salaries that you should be earning after completing the bootcamp and after securing your role in tech. Any question at all? I think I saw one in the chat now. As a project manager, can I train to be a Scrum Master too? Yes, you can. So we have something that is called Agile Project Management. So that is a combination of your knowledge of Agile or Scrum to your role as a project manager. So yes, you can train to be as well. Any other question before I hand over to Tolu? Any question? All right, brilliant. Tolu, you then please take over and please share your screen. So Tolu is our business analyst trainer. So Tolu would walk us through what business analysis is all about and what you should be expecting. After then, we'll hand over to Michelle. Michelle is our product manager trainer. Michelle would also walk us through what product management is. And then I will take over to walk us through what project management and Scrum is. And lastly, we'd hear testimonials from our successful students that have landed roles and our successful students that are currently in the bootcamp as well. So Tolu, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Amazing morning to you, everybody. Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, good. I'll share my screen in a bit. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this amazing session. Right. Good. 1 minute. Yep. Good. Confirm you can see my screen also.
Yeah, Tolu, your screens come true. Yeah.
Good. Amazing morning, everybody. Welcome to this amazing session. Quick. We're going to dive into analysis quickly. Right. And this is the NabelTech platform. I can assure you on this platform, you're going to get the best, right? It's going to be real practical, right? So business analysis is an amazing tech skill that I would say it is eyes for insightful business solutions. So I would like to give us this keyword that what are we becoming as a business analyst, right? We are becoming cross-industry, cross-function, problem solvers, value adders, and trendsetters. It means that for any industry, anywhere in the world, once there's a business, there's a service, a process, a platform, whatever it is, once they have a need, a gap, an opportunity, they would need the skills of a business analyst. Now, this skill is one that you can do in tech without any coding skill at all. Now, the additional thing and advantage of a BA is that whatever you're coming from, whatever skill set, your career background you're coming from, you can transition and be a business analyst. Because, for example, for myself, my first degree was in chemistry. Then, of course, did switch to project management, then to business operations, then to business analysis. Then, and over my years of experience, over 12 years plus of experience, I've been a BA and enjoying it because why? We're becoming what? Cross-industry, cross-function, problem solvers, value adders, and trendsetters. Very interesting thing to do. Let's move ahead. So what I'm going to be covering quickly today to give you a test and intro into what we are getting into. Of course, I would like to give you the what is business analysis and then who is a business analyst. Then we look at the frameworks. This framework are the step-by-step activity that we do on every kind of job as a BA, right? Of course, in the full class, we will go into the techniques and tools we're going to use, but I will show us a bit of the framework that we'll go through, and you will see how interesting it is as you become a BA when you're on a job, on a project, how you are going to be analyzing that business, giving them concept and strategy to improve their business. Now, every business you find yourself, every platform wants to improve. They want to get better. They want to capture more market share, more income, more database, right? So we are going to be looking at what are we going to be doing? What is our skill set? What are our activities? What are our tools and techniques do we use to become BA such that anywhere in the world we can solve problems, we can analyze businesses and give them concept and strategies to become better. Good. So what is business analysis? Right. It says business analysis is a systematic discipline that identifies, analyzes, and translates business needs into practical solution. So we would identify, right? We would analyze and we would now translate those business needs. And the needs can be a gap, opportunity. Now, identifying is where we now use a lot of soft skills and tools like brainstorming, research. We use that to identify a lot of business needs, and business needs can be like gap, problem, opportunities, improvement, right? We now analyze that. We analyze using different tools and techniques. Now, when we get to the full class, we have there's a platform, there's a certification that has a platform, a book of knowledge called Babel that has about 50 techniques that we're going to be covering a number of those techniques, using them to analyze businesses. Now, these techniques are not coding. You don't need to have any coding skills. You just need to bring your, like coach said, your interest, your brainstorming activities is going to be very important. Then once you analyze using different tools and techniques, we translate those business needs into practical solutions, into strategies, into concepts, into ideas. All right. Okay. It says it involves understanding and documenting requirements, facilitating change, and ensuring alignment between stakeholders and project objectives. We would work with a team of people. Of course, we will work on projects with the Scrum Master, product owner, project manager, and different skills that are needed. All right. It says business analyst uses various tools and techniques to improve processes, drive efficiency, and enhance organization decision making. You can see how we are very vital. We are very, very vital as a BA in any industry, right? Okay, so who is now a business analyst? So who are you becoming? Like I said, we're becoming cross-industry, cross-function, problem solvers, value adders, and trendsetters. That's more like a magic, more like having superpowers, because a BA is on the job, on the project, and they believe that a BA should just know everything. There's a gap, there's a problem, opportunity. The BA has the skills to come and tell us, oh, this is what we should do. This is how we should approach it. Okay, so a business analyst is a professional who bridges the gap between business needs and technical solution. All right, they analyze information, they gather requirements from stakeholders, they create documentation and facilitate communication between various teams. Right. It says business analysts play a crucial role in defining, improving, and implementing strategies and processes within organization to achieve business goals. I will add another 4 steps to the overview I gave, saying we are becoming cross-industry, cross-function problem solvers, value adders, and trendsetters. As a BA on any project, I'll give you 4 steps we do. What do we do from the beginning? We research, and in researching, we gather a lot of information, feedbacks, online research, physical research. We use different tools and techniques to do a lot of research and information gathering. That's number 1. Number 2, whatever we have researched, the information, the feedbacks, the details on the project, on the platform, on the process, we analyze them. In under analysis, we use different tools and techniques: business model canvas, BMC, SWOT. We use a lot of techniques that we'll get into in the full class, right? Once we analyze, after analysis, using different tools and techniques, right, we document those requirements. And in documentation, we write document, we come up with business plan, business case, requirement document, case studies. we document them. And once we document, the final thing we do is we present. So we're going to be communicating, we're presenting the solution, the strategy to the stakeholders, whoever is the person that needs that solution. So we research, right? We analyze, we document, and we present, which includes communication. Right. Very, very, very vital. Let's go ahead. Good. Right. I will give us the overview of what we are getting into. Very important to know the overview, right? And the potential of opportunities on a global scale. Okay. So as a business analyst and the industry, we are looked at as the solution provider, and whoever solves a problem, man, can do a lot. Is like they need us everywhere, every time. Says the business analyst is looked at as a game changer. You come into the business and you just move a hand and the business is built once. Now, I would like it that, for example, to football. Of course, when Messi, I know maybe you know Messi, when Messi went to Barcelona, for example, when they put him into the game, it's like, man, the game just changes. So when you are called for, when you work in a place, you are the solution provider. And once you solve the problem, you can imagine the amount of income you get. Look at what question, look at the income, right? And you can do this remotely from anywhere in the world. Okay. Another thing about the industry which I like to state is I call it shopping. Shopping at the best price. I'm sure everybody likes to shop, right? Even businesses, they are always what they do, the activity is like a shopping activity. It says when you are needed as a business analyst, it's a call to solving a problem with the lowest cost of solution and still get optimal result. Because the industries and businesses know that the BA has the skill and technique to analyze the business, we want them to come and tell us what to do, how to go about this project and get the best out of it. Of course, they will still, of course, spend money, but they want to spend as little money and get some maximum result, right? Another thing I like to give us about the industry, about what we are becoming and what we need to know is what I call smell the coffee, right? It says you have to develop a very sensitive mindset and eyes to see where there are gaps, challenges, opportunities to base your analysis on, right? So that calls for sensitivity, and that can be developed, right? It can be developed as we learn on the job. Very, very vital, because we are analysts. We are looking at a problem, a gap, an opportunity, and we are knowing that, okay, this is how we can approach and solve those problems. Okay, and nothing about the industry and what we are going to be doing is information and data gathering. I said, as a business analyst, you have to develop the grit to gather all kinds of information and data about a business industry in total. Right. Very, very important to have that grit to say all kinds of information about the market, about the business, about the price, about the process, as in all kinds of information, because what we research and get information on is what we analyze and then recommend a lot of amazing solutions. Okay, good. So let's look at the framework of the business analysis journey. So this gives us like, okay, if I become a BA, what am I going to be doing on projects, on jobs, right? And this is the framework of every business analysis activity. However, of course, as a BA, we can be flexible, we can add or even expand on each of this. Okay, this also is the knowledge areas we'll be covering in the training step by step, and each one has different tools and technique we will be diving into, right? It's going to be really practical, right? We'll choose an industry of choice, we'll dive into it in details. Okay, so this is the framework of the BA journey, of the BA activity, right? It starts with planning, okay? Planning and a lot of research. In planning, for example, we do what is called a business model canvas, right? We develop a plan for that business. We capture every aspect of it, high level, right? Then planning, that's first step. We do elicitation, which is information and requirement gathering. We gather information from the stakeholders, from the users, from the organization, based on what they want to achieve. So planning and elicitation. Once we have done that, the next framework, the next activity is requirement documentation and management. Okay, everything we have gathered from elicitation, we now we create documentation for them, right? We now manage those documentations. Once we have done that, which has a lot of some techniques, we go into requirements and strategy analysis. That's where we come up with ideas, strategy, concepts, solutions from our planning, our elicitation, our requirement documentation. We are coming up with solutions, with concepts that the business should do, the activities and steps they should do to move them from where they are to where they're going to. So we are solution providers. And then finally, what do we do? Every solution we are creating, because at the end of the day, every activity we are doing is leading us to creating a solution. Then we will now evaluate that solution and validate it, right? And all these frameworks and steps has different techniques we are going to go into, right? Good. Let's just do a bit today together and see. Okay, good. So where you want to analyze an enterprise, please confirm you can still hear me and see me. Do you have any questions at the moment? Any questions?
Yeah, Tolu, we're just trying to keep to time. No questions.
Okay.
So please, let's
Thank you. Let's go. Okay, good. Thank you. Good. So let us give you a bit of what we do. So imagine we have an enterprise. Pick an industry of choice. I want to analyze that enterprise. What is the content of analyzing the enterprise? All right. I'll just do high level now. Research and development. We do a lot of research and development of documentation. Very important. So online search, there are platforms from Google and a friend. You can get a lot of information from there, right? In addition to that, we do business questionnaires because we are going to be asking questions from stakeholders, from users. Oh, what do you want to do about this business? What's your feedback? And we'd use all that to base our analysis, right? And we, of course, everything we are working is for a market. So we analyze the market, knowing, okay, what's the market size of this industry and what's the market share of that business? There are parameters we will use for market share. And all this is going to help us to analyze the business and come up with solutions and strategies. Okay. And then we also in analyzing the enterprise, we do what is called customer analysis, because at the end of the day, everything we are developing would end in the feet and the hand of the customer. So we need to know the customers in details, their personnel, their age range, gender, location, their preference. All that is going to happen when you are doing customer analysis. Very, very high level information. Very interesting thing that you can do. Right. Okay. Just let me go quickly. Okay. Also planning and management, just to show us what all happens in planning. Okay. In planning, the factors are very important. Time. In planning a solution, time is a very important factor. So do you have 1 month? Do you have 3 months to plan? Because once we have a time frame, we know how to analyze and research and come up with solutions, and then we deploy it, right? Another thing in planning is the operation strategy. It says the model of operations, which is mainly the business model, would be developed. That's when we do our business model campaigns. We know the activities they're going to do, the customers, the value proposition, the resources, the revenue stream. All that we do that in operation strategy in details, right? Then team management. Yes.
Can you please round up now?
Okay, good. Right, good. Okay,
Please.
thank you guys. I'm sure you've got some insight. So team management is vital. We will do that. We are working with different team of people. We work with stakeholders, those who are dealing with and solving their problems. Okay, good. Then, okay, elicitation. We'll dive into this in full, gathering information basically. Once you gather information, okay, from elicitation, that means you are asking questions using different tools and techniques. We use interviews, workshop, document analysis, survey, and questionnaire. We will document that information with business plan, business case, different documents, requirement document as the case may be. All right. Then, of course, at the end of the day, we are creating solutions for growth, increase in income, increase in market share, increase in customer base, as the case may be. Very, very interesting, very vital skill we have as a BA to solve various business problems. Okay, I think I'm done. I'll take questions if there are no questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you in the BA class. See my amazing BAs in the BA class. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any questions? If no questions, please go ahead. Any questions for me?
Over to you, Michelle. Tolu will take questions at the end.
Okay, right.
So
Good.
Michelle's
Thank you.
go now. Thank you.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me and see me?
Yes, we can, Michelle. Go for it.
So I'll just share my screen. My name is Michelle. My native names are Inkiroka. My surnames are Chapo, so works. I'm in charge of the product management bootcamp. What product management is and what to expect if you were to say choose this path. The first thing is product management. What is product management? Product management is basically your way to oversee life cycle of a product. The same way an organization has a life cycle, when you started it, after a few years, how it grows, thing that you choose to say produce within your organization. It can be a software app, it can be a hardware product, goes through growth. The role or the activity in charge of that process from the conception of the idea down to the launching of the idea, and even after launching it, maintaining it, iterating it, growing it, falls on the shoulders of product management. Basically, what we do is defining the vision of the product. So we are in charge of vision setting when it comes to products. We also set strategic goals. We manage the developments. We market the product, and we continually are tasked with improving the product. A product manager acts as a bridge between different departments. We're literally in the middle of the organization, from your engineering, your design, your sales, your marketing. There's us pulling all these parts together to create a solution that brings profits to the organization as well as meets the needs of the customers. We don't just build things that do not meet customer need. It's very important that whatever we are spending resources on targets a key customer need to help us bring in profits, which is usually a core purpose of the business and its objectives. Ultimately, product management ensures that your product is solving a customer's problem and is also increasing your business value. It's a very simple hierarchy. If your product is selling, money is coming into the business. The business is able to grow. The business is able to expand off the back of your product. And as time goes on, your product gets to flesh out to produce more products. And before you say, Jack, this is what you see with the HP laptop. This is what you see with the Microsoft brand. This is what you see with Google. They started as small tools and now have expanded into different divisions thanks to product management. So under this cohort, what are the things that we'll cover? I have already said that in product management, we go from conceptualization down to launch and even after launch. So I broke our course outline to cover all activities that we do within product management. To start off, we would look into introduction to product management. First, you need to properly understand what it is, the roles, the responsibilities, then the history of product management. Where did we come from? What brought us here today? And what is the product about? So defining what the product is about, defining the product's vision, mission, goals, and objectives would cover all these concepts. The next thing we will do is understanding the customer. It's very important you understand the customer and define your customer, because whoever you are building for, whatever needs you're trying to solve, is their needs. So who is your customer? Creating the user case documents for the customers and creating a user persona for your products. Each product has its own user persona. It might be two user personas, it might be one user persona, but each product has a unique offering, and that unique offering is what you flesh into a user persona. The next thing we'll look at is product management processes. So ideation and definition. Here we would look at problem statements, trying to explain what problem statements are as a concept, how we set success metrics within a product, how we staff a product and a product team, and then the requirements documents, the first drafts. Now, a requirements document, I will take us deeply into what that entails, but there usually is a first draft before you begin the design process. So we would look at that first draft before we go into the next draft. And before we do that, we would fully enter the designing of a product. So understanding and defining your product scope, sketching, storyboarding, prototyping, designing, validation, and your final PRD would be looked into before we move into the development phase. So usually it's again, as I have explained, we're following a life cycle and a hierarchy. So your definition of the product, your identifying of the product, you're designing the product. That's the life cycle, or you develop the product. So upon developing the product, what activities do we do as product management or managers here? I would walk us through the sprints process, understanding it from the point of view of product management managers, the product coordination mapping process, creating user stories, which is very important to know how to do, and the different tools we utilize in product management at this phase. Before we go to the last aspect, which is launching a product. So you have your activities that we do before launch, the activities we do after launching, and then versioning and product iteration. Again, it looks like a lot, but once we get into the nitty-gritty, you'll find out that it's pretty smooth and easy to walk through. And I'll definitely be there too. So what are the tools that we'll be using within this bootcamp if you were to come here? We have a host of tools that we use in product management that I hope to walk us through how to use. But some of them include the Figma, the Jira, the Trello, the Plot.io, your Sheets, so your Google Sheets or Microsoft Sheets, your documents, your Google or Microsoft Documents, Canva, and there are a bunch of other little tools and knickknacks that I can show us how to use ahead of, say, choosing a career within this field. Just to end, I would say product management is something that's when you're working on, you see you see proof. So it's very easy to within this field having your work be something that people are using, especially customers are using. Speak for your work etiquette and your work practice. So whatever job you are going to, your interviews will go less to the tune of why should we hire you? When you can already brag about the products that you have created, which are in the field, and the success that it is. Your work will speak for you because it is your idea, it is your vision, and you managed it all the way down, even to after launch. So it's a field that you get to create things that you actually get to see people use and experience, and you get to consistently improve on it and make it the best version of what you want to use. I would end here. Again, I heard there'll be questions after, so thank you. Hopefully, I get to see all of us or some of us in the product management cohort. Bye.
Thanks, Michelle. That was really, really good. Thanks everybody. Guys, proof of life. Are you still with us? I can see Chidubem's face. Chidubem, hello. Is everybody else still with us? IFA, Adenobi. Good, good. I can see some thumbs up. Fine. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Tolu. That was really, really good. I think we've gotten an overview to what you're going to be learning on our bootcamps. I would give you more insight into the role of the Scrum Master and into the role of a project manager. So let's crack on into it. Let's talk about Scrum. So at one point or the other, you might think, what Scrum means anyway? And when we talk about Scrum, I want you to basically see it as a framework, a project management framework that helps teams to manage their work. Actually, the name Scrum or the word Scrum was gotten from the game of rugby. I don't know if anybody watches rugby here. And during the game of rugby, if there's any interruption or maybe the ball goes out of way, you will see the team come together to Scrum. And what do? They would come together, put their heads together and put their arms around one another. And they're just going to plan on how they're going to kind of proceed past that phase. And that's just the same thing that happens. However, when we talk about Scrum, mostly Scrum is usually used by software development teams. So that will be your technical teams. And within your software development teams, you would have your business analysts, your software developers, your testers, your solution architects, your data modelers, to name a few. So these are the people that use Scrum on a day-to-day basis. And Scrum helps us to manage our work, manage our deliverables. And the good thing about Scrum, or why there's a demand in organizations leaning towards Scrum, is because Scrum has a set of values, principles, guidelines that helps team work together effectively. Okay, so that is why a lot of organizations are kind of leaning towards it. And one of the key things about Scrum is self-organizing. Scrum teams self-organize around one another. So people don't tell them what to do. They kind of collaborate and decide this is what we want to do. This is how we do our work. And Scrum team learn from experience, they learn from interacting, and they are very, very open and collaborative as well. So the principles and lessons of Scrum can be applied every other way, apart from even software development. So now Scrum is being used in healthcare, in banking, in finance, and a lot of organizations are just adopting this way of working because it basically helps us to deliver value as a team, and it helps us to manage our work. So what does a Scrum Master do, and who is a Scrum Master? So if you're looking at the picture just in front of you, and please pardon me if you see me glancing around, I'm using multiple screens. So who is a Scrum Master? You can see that the Scrum Master has different hats that they wear. And we say a Scrum Master is someone that helps facilitate this way of working, Scrum. And they help the team to make sure that they follow these guidelines, these principles, this way of working, and they ensure that everybody work collaboratively to deliver value. One of the key things you would hear when we talk about Scrum is that Scrum Masters are servant leaders. Even though you hear the word servant and you hear leader, you're thinking, serve, lead. How does that mean? So you serve by making sure that you're there to support your team to deliver value. Any challenges they're facing, you help them unblock any impediments, make sure that things are going well for your team and everybody's kind of pulling their weight. However, you lead by providing guidance. Because you're an expert in the Scrum framework, you then teach them, okay, this is how you should be doing. You coach them, you mentor them using this framework to deliver value. So that is how the two kind of weigh in together. So the role of a Scrum Master is there. You're there to foster communication among your team members. You're there to protect your team members from external influences, right? And making sure that they don't overcommit or they overdo work. You're also there to manage any tool that your team members are working together. The key thing that Scrum Master does is to report on the progress of their team members. So one thing you need to bear in mind is as a Scrum Master, you're going to be working with a lot of technical people. The good thing with Scrum is you're not the one doing the work. You're not the one writing the code or testing the code or deploying the code. You're just there to make sure that everyone is pulling their weight and they're delivering value. However, you get to report on their progress to your stakeholders. You also support your team members. You remove any challenges that they may face, any blockers. You coach them on Agile and Scrum. Another key responsibility that we do as Scrum Masters is to facilitate Scrum events or ceremonies. So like your planning sessions, your retrospective sessions, your daily touch point meeting, your daily Scrum, you're there to facilitate all these meetings, okay? So Scrum Master is there to ensure that everyone work together to deliver value. Everybody work using this Scrum framework together, and you coach them and mentor them to deliver that value. So that is what a Scrum Master does in a nutshell on a day-to-day basis. And then let's talk about the role of a project manager. So when we talk about project management, what is even a project? A project is simply a temporary endeavor that we undertake to create a unique value, product, or service, or a result. Okay, a lot of people on this call might actually have been involved in a project at one point or the other, or you did not know. So the example I always give my students during the bootcamp is, imagine you need to plan a party. Do you know that party delivery is a product on its own, or is a project on its own rather? So the party is a temporary endeavor. You have a timeline for your party, right? You need to make sure that the vendors, everybody's pulling their weight. You need to make sure that the party is as up to what the celebrant wants it. So it's basically a temporary endeavor that we do or that we undertake to create a unique product, a service, or a result. And when we now talk about project management, this is where we now bring all our knowledge, all the skill sets, all the experience that we have, all the tools and all the techniques that you've gathered to complete a series of tasks, right? So we're bringing all our experience, our knowledge, our skill sets to complete a series of tasks, and in order to deliver value or to create an impact or to deliver a service or a result or product or an outcome. So what does a project manager do in all of this? They're saying we are doing this, we're doing this. What do we even do? So what a project manager does is to ensure that everyone is accountable, everyone is delivering value. You are the one behind the orchestra, making sure that the moving parts are working together simultaneously, right? You make sure that the project is delivered on time, within budget, and within scope as well. You work a lot with the stakeholders, with the business owners, with the delivery team to ensure that everyone is aligned and we're delivering values. Project managers also equip their team members with the tools that they need to succeed, with how they need to deliver the value. They give them clarity and guidance as well. So let's say we want to deliver a project. Most times, let's say you have a party, right? You would have an event planner. Please, if you're not talking, can you go on mute? You would have an event planner that will be like, okay, you know what? I'll make sure that we have the decorator in place. We have the caterer in place. We have the services. There's everybody that you basically need to deliver your party. You make sure that everybody is aligned. And that is what the project manager does. Okay, so what are the things or the skill set that you need to have as a project manager? Leadership and adaptability. You're going to be leading a lot of people, so you need to be a good leader. You need to be adaptable, flexible to change. You need to know how to manage your time effectively. So for example, now for me, I'm handling a program. In the program, I have 4 projects that is feeding into my program, and I've been given a very strict timeline of 1 year to deliver that program. Come rain, come sunshine, this is my budget, this is my resources, and this is the time that I have. So what are the things I do every day? I make sure that I'm tracking, I'm checking off my milestones, I'm keeping an eye on dependencies, on risk, on issues, just to make sure that I'm organizing effectively and I'm working towards the timeline that I've been given, which is 1 year. Okay. Also, you have creative problem solving skills. So identify how to solve problems. Let's say, for example, they come to me and say, oh, my key developer is off sick for the next 1 month and they're not coming back. What do? Do I have a replacement to step in as my developer? Do I have someone to make sure that they're there to support my team on a day-to-day basis and things like that? Also, effective communication. For all these roles, you need to have effective communication skills, right? You're going to be talking to stakeholders, talking to your team members, talking to customers, talking to third-party partners if you're lucky. You need to be able to communicate with them effectively and listen and process information as well. Also key for all these roles is motivation and time management. Motivation in the sense that there are times when we work together and sometimes we don't get the outcome that we want. So I'm going to give you an example. On one of my projects, when I was at Sky, I don't know how many people have used the Sky Glass TV before, or you've seen it. So the Sky Glass TV, my team was one of the teams that was responsible for building the Sky Glass TV. And at the end of that project, the project went live during COVID. And at the end of that project, most times when we have a big go live like that, the team would always come together, celebrate, they would give awards, they would do all those big parties and all. But because of COVID, we only did virtual celebration and everybody just went. And then I was talking to some of my developers and my team members then, and I got to know they were like, oh, Lola, we're not motivated. We felt like nobody appreciated our efforts enough. There was no recognition, blah, blah, blah. So at that point, my team was having problem with motivation. So one of the things I did was to reach out to the head of tech. And I said, okay, Vishali, can you please come and talk to my team members, motivate them, give us vouchers, let's go out, let's do things and things like that. So you need to understand that you need to be able to motivate your team member as a project manager, as a business analyst, as a product manager, and as a scrum master as well. So what are the roles and responsibilities of a project manager? Responsible for identifying your key roles, the goals and scope of your project. You need to plan your project effectively and document everything that you need to deliver on your project. Documenting is also key. Ensure that your deliverables are delivered on time, within budget. You manage all your resources, right? Any blockers, just like the Scrum Master role that we're talking about as well. Any blockers, any challenges, or any risk that your team members are facing, you're responsible for eliminating them or removing them. You document your process using the right project management tools. You ensure that top quality result is gotten and the success of your project as well. I'm going to stop here and I don't know if we have, okay, I can say we have Edith on the call. Do we have Edith on the call? Do we have Celia on the call? And do we have John? So we can take testimonials from our students that just completed the bootcamp. And I believe we have one of our students that just secured the role as well. So they can talk us through what it was like for them. So Edith, would you like to step in first while we wait for John and Celia?
Yeah. Hi, Coach.
How you did?
My name's Edith. I was part of the last cohort. I did the project manager boot camp. And to be fair with you, this free career masterclass, I didn't even get to have the privilege of this. I actually learned about the boot camp from my sister who did it in January. And she was like, you know,
I think this will be a good time for you to do this boot camp. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm not sure. I had the whole second guessing myself. And I had a lot of responsibilities. I just come back from maternity leave. I entered into a new role at my workplace, which was quite demanding. I thought, how would I have this time? Moving forward, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm not going to second guess myself. I'm going to actually go ahead for this. The first actual session was on the day of my son's birthday party. So I thought, okay, how's it going to be like? I'm not so sure. I'm just going by recommendation of my sister. And I'm so grateful that I was part of the boot camp because I learnt a lot. I think one thing I'm very grateful of is that Coach D, she is very approachable. When it comes to the actual course itself, she always says a few things. I know she probably might laugh. She talks about no question is a silly question, no knowledge is lost. And I think the team itself were very encouraging with the fact that I was able to come to anyone and ask if I had any issues. I was also able to understand that I had to do self-learning myself. And I decided that because I'm putting my money into this, I want to make sure I get the best out of it. So whether it's, you know, because I felt like it was new to me, I thought, if I have a question, do I feel scared to ask a question? I had to take that out of my mind and realize that I want to aim for a specific goal and I want to be able to achieve it. Another thing that was very, I guess, instrumental in this boot camp is the fact that it's a 12 weeks boot camp. It's a lot. You can feel like it is very overwhelming, but at the same time, when you have a team at NabelTech who are open, they're very easily accessible. They are open to hearing your concerns. If you're worried about things, it does make things easier. And when you can actually, I guess you can put yourself into their shoes and they can put yourself into your shoes, and they understand, okay, you have a busy life ahead. You might, you know, have so many responsibilities outside of work. For me, I have 2 kids. So it is not impossible for you to do this course and at the same time achieve what you want to achieve within the course. I think for me, so I don't go on, is the course is very intense in terms of all the actual modules and that you actually learn within the project management side. And I was grateful for the fact that within my 12 weeks of the boot camp, I was able to be certified in both Scrum Master and I also have the Prince 2 Agile. And I don't believe I would have had it if I didn't have the motivation from Coach and all of the team, which I do miss. And I stopped second guessing myself. You know, my husband would always say to me that, like, put your all into it as well. You know, you can do this, you can achieve what you want. And yeah, and I did. And I was grateful that everything within the boot camp that I learned is actually instrumental for me. So I've obviously in the process of actually applying because I just finished a cohort, but I do have an interview coming up soon, which I was surprised about. But yeah, I think all in all, I really enjoyed my time doing the boot camp. I didn't have all this masterclass. So when I jumped in at the deep end. Everything I felt was new to me. But as Coach, I think would have probably mentioned, she starts off with trying to remind you that there are many things that you've gone through in your life that can actually contribute to you being a project manager, or that could have shown you that you've been a project manager before. And so when I had to redo my reflection, I realized actually I have been doing this, but I haven't been getting paid. And I have been doing this and, you know, I haven't been understanding fully that, wow, this is something that I actually am very much interested in. I really want to go into the tech aspect of it. And yeah, and I think when we entered into the projects ourselves, at first I thought, oh, how are we going to do this? But going through the project, I learned so much. I learned so much that I could use for interviews, I could use for when I actually get the role. And I think it's just been very important for me to have come out of my shell, placed myself within this boot camp and totally engross myself in it, because I think if you do that, from my advice, you you'll do the best that you can. If you just put your all into it within this 12 weeks of the boot camp, you'll be able to take in as much as you can. And self-learning is very important because it's only 12 weeks. You can't learn everything within 12 weeks. So going out of your way to do that self-learning, I think there was a time in my cohort, I had gone out of my way to do some self-learning, and I went back to coach and I said, Coach, I'm not sure about this. Is it possible, that, you could explain it more? And she went even above the step by not even explaining it, but adding it into one of the actual courses. So we were able to understand it fully as a team. So yeah, I think from my honest, review, I would say that it's a good time, even if you think, oh, it might not be a good time. I have this commitment. I was like you, I had so many different commitments. And I still persevered, and I still kind of put that aside and just said, you know what, I'm going to actually take this on board. I'm going to be serious about it, and I'm going to put my all into it. I think those that put their all into it get the most out of it as well. So yeah, I don't think anyone should delay. Don't second guess yourself. Coach is always like, you can do this. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you do your best. And I think what helped is that it was really from a genuine place. And being in the cohort was my actually first time meeting everyone. So yeah, I just want to be grateful for the team. I worked with some amazing people who, even I think Dami probably is on this call. She was the one that sort of recommended that I do the PSM, and I never even thought about that. So I was very grateful for that, and grateful for the whole process, because 12 weeks ago I was clueless to all the terminologies, and now it's like I feel like I'm a pro already. And yeah, so I'm just grateful. And yeah, thank you guys, thank everyone. And like I said, if you don't take anything else that I said or it doesn't make any sense, the most important thing is literally, if you want to go ahead with the boot camp, give it your all. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Your questions are not silly, and if you're feeling any type of way, reach out to the team, let them know what help you need, and do the self-learning. Try to take out time to just, read and learn. And yeah, but yeah, that's what I can say. Thank you.
Thanks, Edith. Thanks,
Thanks,
Edith.
Coach.
One thing I can say about Edith and I think Celia and John is I think they all came in knowing what they wanted. And you could see from the first day of the boot camp that this was it for them. I remember there was a day he sent me a message. I think it was it, and I was like, why is she not sleeping? She's like, Coach D, I've done this. Can you go and research? Can you have a look at it and tell me what you think? And I feel, okay. And just like she said, you would only get what you put into it. If you put in your time, you put in your effort, and you're committed, you will definitely get the best out of it. So thank you very much, Edith. We are rooting for you. All the best at your interview. We can't wait to get your success story. All right. Zelaya, would you like to go next?
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Zelaya. And I'm so happy to be able to do this just how many months ago? It's quite surreal that 5 months ago I was just in your position, and now I'm I'm a success story actually, and it's all thanks to NabelTech Bootcamp. I think yeah, I joined the April cohort, and I remember when I made the decision to transition into tech, I was scared because, like, as usual, when you are chatting unknown territory and waters, it can be very daunting, and you would second guess yourself. You have so many doubts. But the good thing was, and the best decision I ever made was getting to a boot camp, because for me, I had already gotten the certification in project management. I started that was in January of this year. And then I knew that I needed to get practical hands-on experience. And NabelTech offered that. They just didn't offer the practical experience, but they offered the theoretical experience as well. So the boot camp was for 12 weeks, 8 weeks of theoretical classes where you'd learn the rudiments and the foundations of project management. And then the remaining 4 weeks were hands-on practical experience where you would have to apply what you've learned from the 8 weeks to your project. And the thing I love about NabelTech is that they have a very structured approach towards teaching. I had the opportunity to learn from people who had had experience in project management. There were resources that were given to me, a reading list where I could use to self-study, as well as tools, project management tools that I had never heard about. Maybe the ones I was conversant with was Microsoft Project. I had never heard of Jira. I had never heard of Scrum until I was enrolled in the boot camp. And so it was just a very good experience all through the boot camp. I met wonderful people who I'm still very good friends with till today. I was able to establish good relationships with people, connections. I was also able to learn, to grow. And at the end of the day, I think I finished the boot camp in June. I hadn't even started applying till maybe July, and I was able to secure 3 interviews and 3 offers. I decided to go with the last one. So I'm due to start work on the 9th of September in my new role as a project manager. I just want to say, for anyone who makes a decision to join NabelTech Bootcamp, you shouldn't sleep on it. You are the person delaying your success. You can do it. And NabelTech is here to offer that support, offer that guidance. For me, I even had a different kind of package because my package was just basically the course and I think, yeah, just the course. But they offer other packages where they give you on-the-job support, one-on-one mentoring, coaching, which is invaluable. I wish, in retrospect, when I think about that, I think maybe I should have probably gone for that. But that notwithstanding, even if you go for the lowest package, it's still the same support they're going to offer to you. They're always there to guide you. They're always there to give you whatever help you need. And it's just a good thing because, you know, there are people who genuinely want to see you succeed and are there for you. I know a lot of boot camps say, oh, we'll do you this, and they make a lot of promises. But if you put in the work, if you're self-motivated, you take a lot of time to study, you learn, you are consistent, you're going to get the best out of NabelTech Bootcamp. You're going to get the best because you're in safe hands, experienced professionals ready to see you succeed. That's the most important thing. For the fact that when you have a teacher who wants you to succeed, then you know that you're in very safe hands. So I'll just encourage you, don't sleep on it. Make this, as you've come to this masterclass, make the decision to register for the boot camp, get yourself settled in, make the most of the opportunities that are given to you, learn, learn, learn. You have to be hungry for knowledge. You have to continuously learn, continuously be an open book to receive everything that they're going to give to you. I know that it may seem stressful for those people who are working. I wasn't working, but I was managing 3 kids by myself. So I would manage and I didn't have care. I didn't have help. My husband doesn't work in the same city that I do. So imagine the whole stress. I would study at night and study, ask questions. I always asked a lot of questions. I was hungry for it. And I think maybe that also helps me get my success. So I would just want to encourage you to take the chance. It's a chance, but it's a risk that will pay off. Everything that helped me in my interview was mostly the things that I learned from my instructor. It even set me apart because there were certain questions they had asked me that I would have only been able to answer because I had access, first of all, to the project, as well as having access to that kind of information and insights. So I would just want to encourage you to, as you start your journey, take a chance, learn, grow, partner with NabelTech. They also gave me a reference for job reference. So it's just, and they're just an amazing organization and amazing people to have to hold your hand and guide you through this journey. So I encourage you to do your best and succeed. You really, really succeed. That's a sure thing. If you put your mind to it, you're dedicated, and you do everything that is required of you, you will succeed. So once again, I'd like to thank NabelTech for helping me and supporting me through this journey. It's been an amazing ride, and I'm so grateful. I'm eternally grateful to NabelTech for having given me the the platform to jump and to soar in this my new budding career. And I hope that you all too, I would have the opportunity to hear your success stories as well. So thank you so much, Coach. Thank you to the team, Lulu, Dami, amazing people.
Thanks, Elea. We're so proud of you and congratulations on the new role. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Go on and make us proud. We are rooting for you.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, let's quickly hear from John before we round up. John, over to you.
All right.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Good morning. Before I start, I just want to say this is not a paid ad.
Yes, not a paid ad. I know.
It's nice to be here. I just completed my own boot camp, I think 2 weeks ago now. And yeah, it's been a life-changing one. Edith that spoke earlier, she was on my team. She was my project manager. I trained to be a Scrum Master. And I must say it was an intense 12 weeks. It starts off slow, because it's just gonna be classes, theory for the first few weeks, but as you get into the program, you realize it is more intense than you would have anticipated. I don't want to repeat some things that were said by Edith and Seleya, but one important thing I think you should take away is you're spending your money, make it worth your while, get the best out of it. And the only way to do that is, apart from the Saturday classes you attend, when you go back home during the week, just seek knowledge, do the assignments that are given. The assignment you think, oh, is not just to answer these questions. No, try to answer them from the top of your head. Do some extra research. Use YouTube, use Coursera, use as many tools as you can get, as many learning materials that you can get. Of course, there'll be a bootcamp handout as well, and coach always does well to signpost you to where you can get additional information. And there are also people on the team who always share information. Like for my own time, I think someone was able to get 500 past questions for a certification exam, and that helped us in our own team to be able to prepare well for the exams. So if you do all that you've been asked to do, you give yourself to personal learning. Because I think I've done this program before, but not with NabelTech, I think 2 years ago. But it wasn't even for Scrum Master. But that time I was expecting to be spoon-fed. And that's a basic error that anyone can have coming into a program like this. Yes, the coaches or coach herself and the rest of the team, they know what they're doing. They know how to how to teach and all of that. But for you to understand and take on practical aspect of this program, you need to be able to give yourself to learning, like immerse yourself in learning about whatever course you're doing. If it is Scrum, if it is project management, give yourself to learning it. You will also be encouraged at some point to take on the certification exams. You will feel scared. You may fail the first time. You will not be the first to fail the first time. Go according when coach says you're ready. Believe in yourself that you are ready. And of course, if you're learning more, you'll know that you can achieve or you can attempt it. And there are also some demo exams you can do. Coach will tell you to do those ones. Do them as many times as you can till you feel you're getting a perfect score. And then maybe you'll be able to attempt those exams. Trust me, those exams are not free. They're affordable, but they're the best things that can happen on your CV. I have been having talks already with some potential employers. I just started applying last week, and looks like people are already finding interest in my CV. And it's just 2 weeks since I left the program. What else I want to talk about? I wrote a few things down. Look for opportunities to contribute to your team effort. As Edith said, the last 4 weeks you be added to a program, rather to a team where you work on a project. People notice when you want to be involved or when you want to contribute and when you're giving your best to whatever project you're working on. Be the one that carries the team. If at any point morale is low, push your team, encourage your team, contribute, and you learn in the process. I miss my team, just like Edith said, because it just felt like we've known ourselves from before, but I think what brought us together was the fact that all of us knew what we wanted. We wanted to deliver on that project excellently, and we worked with stakeholders, that is Coach and Dami and other stakeholders and the developers to make sure that we delivered on our project, and we learned in the process as well. Some commitments will have to suffer a bit. I have I'm a family man. I had my wife's graduation during that period. I had a vacation during that period. I had my birthday during that period. There were loads of things that I was supposed to be part of, but some of them meant that I'll join meetings late or join hangouts late or cancel some events. I also work. I work night shifts, so it was quite complicated. But you just have to find a way to make it work because it is worth your while. And another thing is imposter syndrome. That is when you're feeling scared or feeling like, oh, I've never done this before. How am I going to come out at the end of the day? I'm saying I'm a scrum master. That is a topic that coach deals with. And I think it affects almost everybody. But trust me, after that particular session with coach on imposter syndrome, you'll feel more confident during the program. You also feel more confident applying for jobs. You feel more confident creating your CV. And I think you will just you enjoy the program even much better. Basically, I'm encouraging anyone who is sure of you may not be sure at the moment, but you know that you want to transition into IT, into any of those roles. Give NabelTech a shot. As I said, I've done something like this before, but what I experienced in the 12 weeks and after 12 weeks of joining NabelTech is nothing like what I've had before. They are true to their word. Whatever they're advertising, they do even more. They're just even selling themselves a bit short. I will put it that way. But yeah, it's a go. Give it a go, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, John. Thanks everybody. I think we've gradually come to the end of the session. We're just going to go over our training packages, what it's like and what to expect. So the Scrum Master Bootcamp is a 12 weeks program. We will kick off on the 7th of September and that will run for 12 weeks. And we have the light package, the advanced package, and the premium package. You can see everything involves hands-on training, capstone project, access to all the tools. You get access to your LMS platform. You get your work experience, exam prep. You get reference. No matter which one you choose, you get reference and you get career consultation as well. I think the difference between the advanced and the premium is you would have one-to-one coaching sessions with me and would also have interview prep with you. But other than that, I think almost everybody that have interviews should please reach out to me. And for those that have gotten roles, you know that even before your interview, I'm always on hand to support. So that is the package for the Scrum Master. The project management certification or the package is also still the same. We cover everything project management to get you started in the role. Business analysis is the same as well. And lastly, the product management package is the same as well. So what we do is for each of the packages, we allow you to pay in installments. So I know the next question will be, oh, I'm interested. How can I pay? We allow installment payments. So all you need to do is to reach out to any of our team members, get them talking, get them to support you. They'll work around your payment for you and make sure that you're set up for success. So I'm going to stop here to take any question you might have had. I know we've kind of held the question till the end, so we'll manage our time. So over to you. I'm opening it up now. Please feel free to ask any questions at all. And thank you, Seleya, John, and Edith for joining. Even though it's not a paid ad, you did wonderfully well. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. It's our pleasure, really. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. In regards to our baby developer, Seleya.
She will hear. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Guys, do we have any questions or do we want to round up now? Tommy, you have your hands up. Okay, Tommy, go for it.
Hi, I just wanted to confirm, how are the installments paid?
So I feel you would need to talk to our onboarding team. So they will work around the installments for you. I think we kind of have 2 or 3 installments. There's one that you can pay in full. There's one you can pay in 2 installments. I think there's one you can pay in 3 installments. So please reach out to them. Just talk to them around the timelines and when you want to make what payments. And then they will set out a payment plan for you.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
question. So, to those of us that are in Nigeria, how do we join the boot camp? Like, I think from what they've been saying, I think most of them is hands on deck, like physical. They are there in person. So, to us that are not there in person, so how do we go about it?
So that's a very good question, and thank you for asking. So all our classes are virtual. So no matter where you are, we've had students in Canada, in the US, in UAE, from Nigeria, and even here. So no matter where you are, all our sessions is virtual. We have a workspace, which is called Slack. We have access to tools, and we all just collaborate together. So even though you're not here in the UK in person, it would feel like that, because everything we do, we meet almost every day and everything is virtual. So no matter where you are, you can still join. I think I was on the call earlier with someone from Finland. So no matter where you are, you would always join the class remotely. And as long as you have internet, you have a phone or a laptop that you can connect to, you're good to go. Okay?
Sorry, if I can get you guys out of the topic. I'm just looking at the panel and I see people of color. And I don't mean to be racist or anything, but as a woman of color myself, does tech allow fair transition into the real world where jobs are offered fairly? Because I'm not gonna lie, surely companies like you were talking about Sky TV, you know, how you got into that project, which is quite big. Does companies obviously they'll go with people that they trust? Is there a fair transition, basically?
So I would say yes and no. And I would say sometimes for us that are underrepresented, it could be a little bit tricky. However, one of the things I would always tell my students is make sure that you are the best at anything you do. I don't celebrate mediocrity. So they're going to go for it, going hard and going well. So for me, there would be at this point, any interview that I go for, that I will not get the job. And that comes only from a place of knowledge and confidence. Right. So I've been opportune. There was a particular role that I think it was with Safeguard Global. The company is US based. And I went for the interview. And the interviewer switched on the camera and then he saw a black tiny girl, like, oh. And I'm like, oh, were you expecting to see anyone else? I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. No, I'm like, okay, that's fine. By the end of the interview, he was like, oh, I know you know your stuff. These words, I know you know your onions now. And even sometimes, because you're black, let me use that word, at interviews, they will grill you harder, give or take. So I would always tell my students, make sure that you know your stuff so well and you deliver so well that they can't negotiate the fact that they would give you that job. So I've been on interviews that immediately I left the interview, the recruiter was calling back, they want you now. Like, they want you now. So you need to, and for you to get to that space, you need to put in your work, you need to put in the time, and you need to be dedicated. However, is it possible? Yes. And the moment you get to that place that you're confident, you know your work, and you know your stuff, it's a game changer for you. Do you understand? And there won't be any room that you'd enter that they won't be like, oh, okay, yes, she's here.
Thank you.
So my advice would be whatever role you decide to go into, put in your best. My name is still my name. My name is Oluwadam Lolaraji. So even by looking at my name, you know I'm not British. I'm not white. You would know that. Do you understand? But most people, when they see your CV, they'll be like, okay, let's just invite her to see what she has to say. And by the only mistake is invite me. The moment you invite me, you're in trouble. You would definitely want me back. So make sure that you put in your best, you develop yourself so well, and you make sure that even after that, you continue remaining relevant. I would always tell my students, don't ever stop interviewing. Now I'm in a role, I'm happy, I contract most times, I'm still applying for jobs. Not because I don't have anything to do with my time. Because one, I train people. So I always want to remain relevant. I want to know the interviews in the market. I want to know what the trends are. Number two, because I want to make sure that if I get tired of my work tomorrow, I can tell them, you know what, that's it, I'm gone. And I don't have to be tied to an employer and I'm worried, oh, what's going to happen to me later? Do you understand? So make sure that you develop yourself so well, you're an expert at your craft, and nobody would negotiate your value or the value that you're bringing to the table. All right, thanks for that question. Any other question? Elizabeth, you have your hands up. Oh, have I answered your question? What about Lade?
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Thank you.
Ladi, what about you? Do you have any question, or have I answered yours as well?
No, I do have a question. Thank you. I wanted to ask, what does the career consultation look like?
So it's more of an initial call with our team members, just to understand your background, what you do, the role that you want to transition into, and just basically support you to make the right decision. So for us, we're not just going to say, oh, I want to do business analysis. Okay, business analysis. We'd ask you, okay, so you want to do business analysis? Have you done anything in the past that kind of mirrors it? Or have you done your research? Do you think it's the right? For most people that have actually chatted with me, I'll be like, have you done any research? What have you done in the past? And that's just to make sure that we are setting you up for success. And even though you said, oh, you've not done your research, okay, that's fine. We can then tailor that to when you join the bootcamp to be sure, okay. And for all our bootcamp, we'll always start from the basics. You would always have your first session with me. I'll go to the basics of Scrum with you. I'll go to the basics of, project management with you. I'll go through the basics of software development lifecycle with you, what the software is, what the hardware is. Everybody on the call, either your project manager or your product manager, everyone would always come through me, so that I then set the same to make sure that you're set up for success. And by the time you split into your different cohorts, you're good to go as well.
Okay. And so in terms of during like job searching and stuff, is there still support in terms of if you not like if you needed support like in an application, maybe you're not sure how to answer a certain question in certain job applications. So let's say if you went for the advance, if someone was to go for advance, would they still have that support?
You would have that support. You would get help from us. And even when you get the job, you still get on the job support, even if you're on light. Do you understand? So for us, we want to have this, or we have this way of working that we just don't say the bootcamp is over, here you go, that's all. So even after, so I have someone now, he's been in his role at Jaguar Land Rover for a year. And he said, Coach D, I still need to talk to you. And we got talking as I could down to switch roles. So I said, okay, do this, send your CV to me, let me review it, and then you're good to go. And that is over a year of him securing his role and like 1 year, 3 months of completing the bootcamp. So we still support you up until the end, even if you're on light, advanced, or premium. However, for the advanced and premium, the only difference is you get to have, so during the course of the bootcamp, you get to meet with me one-to-one and ask me questions. I'll basically pour everything I know into you, and you can make sure that you're set up for success. However, everything else that you get in the bootcamp is still the same. And even after the bootcamp, it's still the same. And if you're filling in an application and you're not clear, you can ring me, you can read Lulu, you can read them. We have, at the moment, we have 5 or 6 leads in the teams that are there to support you every day. So you would always get that support. You always get that clarity as and when needed.
Okay. And then also, because I know that you've listed like tools that we would have access to, I wanted to ask if you also have, if we'd also have like resources that could help us on the job. So in terms of templates and stuff like that.
For joining the bootcamp, you get access to a workbook. You get access to the different guides for wherever training you're on. And you would also get materials to prepare for your exam and just to make sure that you read. I'll also give you guided books to read for each of the bootcamps that you're on. So I would say you have 5 books for project management, 5 books for Scrum, 5 books for business analysis. And this can be ebooks that you have on your phone, or it can be paper books that you read and things like that. So yes, you would always get those materials. And also when you want to prepare for your certification, I would always take you to that certification page, show you the materials that you need to download, show you the links you need to read on, and then show you the practice exam that you need to take on those certification sites, just to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success.
Okay, that's good. Sorry, this is the last one. I mean, so on the job, like for example, some people might not have had. So I'm talking about project management now. So if you've had to write a report and you've never done that before, is it possible to have like some sort of template?
So thank you for asking, because Lulu, this was what we were going over with our project managers 2 nights ago as at 10 p.m. So yes, during the course of the bootcamp, remember that you have a capstone project to deliver to maybe either of our clients or so. So one of the things you would do is during the course of that bootcamp, everything you should do at work, you would do it there. So you get your project charter, you get your weekly report, you get your work breakdown structure, your stakeholders analysis matrix. All those are already there with the templates. So even by the end of the bootcamp, you should have clarity on that. Selaya, I was still looking at all the templates that you created yesterday. So you would need to do all that even while doing the course of the bootcamp. So you should be clear. And at the end of the bootcamp, if you're still struggling, or let's say you end up landing a greenfield project, right? So a greenfield project is a project that's entirely new. There's no reporting, no metrics, no documentation. You need to do everything from scratch, which is what my program is about now. I would then walk you to, okay, this is what you need to do at phase 1. These are the artifacts or documents you need to generate for phase 2. This is what you need to do for phase 3. So yes, that support is still there.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. I've got one more question, and
Please
that's
don't
it.
be sorry. You should know by now there's no stupid question, and all your questions are welcome, because other people might actually have that question and they don't want to ask. So please ask away.
Okay, so actually, I think you've answered it, but just to clarify, so when you get, so the mentoring and coaching for the premium, is that like, this is just for lack of better expression, is that like more like a lifetime support?
Yes, it is. So even after the bootcamp, you would still get that support from me on the job support, mentoring support. You can still buzz me. So let me give an example. One of our students got a job and then she was supposed to do a presentation, and she had like 30 minutes to prepare for the presentation. And I will always tell my students, and Seleya, this is also for you and Edith, when you get a job and you need help, and most times because I'm always away from my phone and I am very rubbish with WhatsApp, I think everybody should have known by now, I'll tell you to send me a text message that says SOS. When I see SOS from you, I drop everything I'm doing and I would call you straight away. So she sent SOS. I was like, Coach T, I have to present this now. I need to drop out a template. I was like, okay, you know what? Find a meeting room, call me, let's do it together. So even on the job, while she felt like, oh, she was stuck, we jumped on the call together. In like 15 minutes, she was ready, and she went and she smashed that. She smashed the presentation. They later called her to say, okay, you know what, because of what you did for this project, can you please launch it for another project as well? So yes, you get that lifetime support. Even when you're on the road, you still have access to call me whenever you need help. Even if you're stuck on the job, just give me a call and then I would reach out to support you.
Okay, thank you. That's amazing.
You're welcome. Christiana, over to you, and then we'll go to Ayo, and then we'll start rounding up. Christiana, I can hear you if you're talking.
Can you hear me now?
Much better. Yeah, I can.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I just want to ask, when you start the classes, the 12 weeks, is it going to be recorded? Because sometimes, to be honest, I might miss, I might not be available to attend some of the classes. Is it going to be recorded so that we can?
All sessions, Christiana, are recorded, and we have a learning management platform, an LMS platform, so you can always catch the recording on the go. Okay. And even after watching the recording, you will still have your leads to answer any question that you might have. So my advice will always be, if you miss the class for this Saturday, before the next class on Saturday, make sure that you watch the recording and you ask the question. So by the time the next class starts, you are full parity with everybody else. So yes, all sessions are recorded. Once you have your LMS, recording is usually uploaded hours after the class. So let's say you are at work in the morning, when you get home later in the night, you can just play your recording and watch back when you're home later in the night. So yes, we have recordings.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ayo.
Hi, good morning, guys. I'm kind of confused on what career paths to go for between the Scrum Master and the business analysis.
Oh, so you're not sure which one to choose? That's an interesting question. So what I would say is write out your own personal skill set. So let me tell you how I decided I was going to go for Scrum. So when I joined a bootcamp, that they were teaching project management and business analysis. And when I joined, I was joining and listening to the PM classes and the BA classes. And during the course of the class, I would always tell myself, Dami, do you see yourself in this role? Do you think if you do this role, you would thrive in it? If you don't have the experience of sitting in the classes, what I would always say is go and read up on roles and responsibilities of a business analyst and the skill set of a business analyst. Read the roles and responsibilities of a scrum master or project manager and the skill set that they have. And while you're doing that research, try and picture yourself in that role. Okay. So when I was on that boot camp, someone came and said, oh, I got a job as a scrum master. And I was like, what does that even mean? So I went online and I was like, who is a scrum master? And the moment I started reading the role of a scrum master, oh, you're servant leader, you're there to help people, you're there to organize, make sure people are working together collaboratively, you facilitate meetings. I'm like, yes, this is it. So I had to stop that boot camp and I focused on the scrum master role. So my advice would be make sure that you do your research well. And while you're doing your research, always picture yourself in that role and see if this is something that, one, even if they don't pay you, will you still enjoy doing it? So right now, even if I don't get paid, I'm sure the first bootcamp for NabelTech that I started, I think we had like 30 students on the first bootcamp. It was free of charge because I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this without earning any money from it. So what can you do that even if they don't pay you, you will still do it? 2, what role will you do that you would enjoy doing? And 3, this role, if I decide to go into it, would I thrive in it? Will I be able to grow in it? So once you answer those questions, I think you should narrow down the different options for you. You should be able to choose one out of the 2. Okay? So yeah, that was also how I made my decision. And if you still need any help, Ayo, just give me a buzz on Instagram. You and I can jump on a call and we can kind of figure it out together.
All right, thank you.
Welcome. Miriam? Guys, we need to start rounding up.
Yeah, sorry. So my own question is regarding the tools. So I see that for the business analysis bootcamp, there are no tools listed. Does it mean that, yeah, so because it's kind of like how do I put it now? A bit confusing for me, right? Because I actually see myself having to have done obviously project management at one point or the other on my various roles, on my previous roles, and also being like a business analyst as well, analyzing certain things and all that. So I'm kind of like confused with
of which tools you'll be using on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly.
All right. So we have Tolu on the call. Tolu, do you want to do justice?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. I apologize that I missed the tools in my slide. There are tools and techniques we are going to be learning. Now, on that BABOK, that's the business analysis body of knowledge, there are 50 tools and techniques we can use for various business analysis activities. Business model canvas, requirement documentation, SWOT, pastels. We are going to use Jira together. We're going to use Excel. We're going to use PowerPoint. We're going to use Draw.io, Lucid Charts. There are tools and techniques we're going to use. There are around 50. I'm sure in the last quarter we covered like 30. That's like a B pass mark. We covered like 30. So there are tools and techniques we're going to use in the BA class, right? Acceptance. I can start to name them. There are a lot. Acceptance criteria, process flow maps, data flow diagrams, business model canvas, SWOT, as in a lot that it's going to be real practical. Thank you.
So thank you, Tolu. And don't worry, I would say for that you did definitely get access to the tools. And for me, I would say most of the tools that you would use a lot on a day-to-day basis would be your Jira, your Confluence, because for me, that's what my BAs use almost every day. Jira, Confluence, and then I think that the one they use for process flow mapping. So those are the ones that I feel like you would use almost every day. Definitely PowerPoint is still there. I know some of my BAs also use Excel and all the rest. But yeah, once you join the bootcamp, you get more insights to that. But definitely you would use the right tool, Miriam. I can guarantee you that.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then let's take Ify and we round up.
Good morning.
I
have a quick question for Tolu.
Okay, Tolu, go for it then.
Yeah. Tolu, please, can you quickly run me through the difference between software development life cycle and project management life cycle, if there's a difference at all?
Software development life cycle, SDLC, method there you have different methodologies for software development life cycle, which includes waterfall, spiral, agile, prototype, incremental. For project development life cycle is totally different. You have initiation. I remember also they have done project management training. Let me remember, okay, initiation,
Tolu, do
development.
you want me to step in?
Please help me with that one. So
Okay.
so the Scrum, the SDLC is different. That's waterfall, agile, prototype, and agile. So Dami, please help me with the project management one. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you, Tolu. So let me kind of shed more light on that. When we talk about software development lifecycle, and we talk about project management lifecycle, it depends on the aspect that you're looking at it from. So for software development lifecycle, if the project that you're kind of working on, if you're using the agile methodology or the agile way of working, you would have your initiation phase, right? You would have your planning phase, you would have your execution phase, you have your monitoring and control phase, and you have the project closure phase. However, if you're now leaning towards the agile way of working, you would have similar workflow stages. For us to build software development successfully end to end, we would always start with the initiation phase as well. So for me, on my Greenfield project right now, the project I'm working, or the program I'm working on, we are building a point of sale system from scratch. However, we've worked previously in the past that we've kind of built it. We've used an off-the-shelf solution. But for this one, it is also a project, and two, it is a software that we're building. So one of the things I've done is, one, to break it down into phases. However, we are still delivering using that initiation phase, planning phase, execution, monitoring and control, closure. However, for now, the execution on the software development lifecycle part, I've added it, or I've broken it out into 4 phases. So the first phase is my MVP phase. The second phase is my test and learn, which is then the third phase I then roll out. The fourth phase is the lesson and learn, and then 5th phase is the exit phase. So even though we are still following the initiation, planning, and all those things, for me, because I'm building or I'm delivering a software, we started with the MVP phase. So while we are initiating and planning, we are launching it, or we are building the software on a smaller scale to a target audience, or we call it the test pilot group. So we're going to launch it out to 17 key companies. When we learn from there, we then go into the next phase, which is the test and learn, and then we're rolling out to a larger audience. However, the project delivery side of it, which is where we have your project management work, I'm still following my planning for that MVP phase, right? I still deliver using planning, initiation, monitoring and control, execution and closure. Once I finish that 5 steps in that first phase, only then can I move to the second phase of my software development lifecycle. And then I'll finish that, and then you carry on. So in each of the delivery phases for those, you still have your project management coming into play. Does that make sense now?
Yeah, thank you.
However, please bear in mind, if you're working within an agile or software development environment, your project management lifecycle and your software development lifecycle closely mirrors. And once you join the bootcamp, that is the first class that we're going to use.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Ify. And thanks to Lu for pitching in as well. Olani Olamiju, over to you. And then I think that will be the last question that we'll take today.
Thank you very much.
I can hear you though if you're talking. Olani, you can hear us?
At work.
Ooh, yeah, well, did you put anything in the chat? Olani, you can drop your message in the chat. I'll read through and answer your question. Okay? And then Omolola, should we go for it now?
Yes. My question is, can you work as a Scrum Master and at the same time as a project manager?
Some organizations would bring you in for both. And I've seen one of our students say, oh, could you have an interview for a Scrum Master role and a project manager role together? So one of the things organizations do is, one, if they don't have the budget to pay for both a PM and an SM, they would then bring you in to wear both hats, especially if you have the certification. One thing I don't want you to bear in mind is that it might be tricky for you to wear that hat, because your roles and responsibilities as a Scrum Master is very, very different from your role and responsibility as a project manager. Although you might have similarities or bloodlines, but you're responsible for delivering a project end to end for a project manager. However, for Scrum Master, you're responsible for the delivery of your team on a team level. So now, let's say you're being a project manager. That might mean you have more Scrum teams that you're supporting. However, you still have one more team that you support, or two more teams that you support as a Scrum Master internally. So I would always advise my team members that, or my students, that if you know you want to go that route, please be very, very careful, because it could trip you up and your roles and responsibilities can go like from this to this overnight. However, if you are happy to go for it, I would always say yes, go for it. It's a good challenge, but yes, some organizations do recruit Scrum Masters that would wear both hats.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'm happy for us to round up now. Is there any other question that we want to answer before we go? Anything else from anybody? If you do, you still have your hands up, or is that a legacy hand?
Yeah, a quick one. I was just gonna ask, yeah, as a BA, is it possible to have like two jobs, like two BA jobs remote? Is it possible? Because I know their responsibilities are quite large. So from experience, what would you say?
I would say ethically, no. Ethically, right? Especially if you sign a contract that says that, and this is when you get jobs, please guys, read the fine print of the contract. Some contracts will tell you that you are not permitted to work in any role that kind of mirrors what you're doing now. And if you have that type of contract, I would say please don't. Some contracts might not be in the fine print. So you might be working for a startup and they might not even give you any contract to do and things like that. If you are in that type of situation, you may be able to consider the two jobs. However, my advice would always be, especially for people that are just starting out in the role, to be, please start with one. Learn while you can, be an expert at that role. And then if you now want to earn more, instead of doing two jobs, why not go contracting where you can earn a lot? So my advice would be, instead of you doing two permanent roles, and they're paying you 35 in one, and they're paying maybe 45 in one, why don't you do a contract role that will pay you £600 per day as a BA? And you don't have any of those risks of worrying, hey, they might catch me. See, let me give you an example. One of my BAs, he was doing the same thing. We had a stand-up call. Then I was still a Scrum Master. I think it was at BT. We had a stand-up call. And it was his turn to speak. He gave his updates wherever, and then he went. However, he did not remember to go back on mute. And then he joined the stand-up for another team or another business. And we were hearing everything he was saying. Guys, he got fired that day, with legal raised against him as well. So my advice would be, number one, unless the fine print of your contract does not specify, because there are some bloodlines, I've been reading all over it as well, you might try it, but ethically, I would say please don't, because the downside of it is not nice. If you then know that you want more money, instead of doing two jobs that would context switching and everything break your head, why don't you just focus on getting a contract role, earn well per day, and you're good to go. Okay? I hope I've been able to convince you with this viewpoint of mine. Guys, I would need to jump off now. I want to say thank you, Ify. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that's joined us. Thank you for listening to me. It's been an interesting 2 hours with you guys. I really appreciate you. Please, if you'd like to join any of our boot camps, the links are in the chat. Our team members are going to be reaching out to you after this call as well, just to make sure that you're all set up. Bootcamp kicks off next week, Saturday, and most likely your class will start from 10 a.m. yeah, I think that's all from me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. We can't wait to celebrate you and your success story as well. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Thanks all.